You haven't gone by it all yet.
Wait, what is that? There's a lot of possibilities with this one, Bill. There's a bicycle sitting on top of the bridge up there. He could be in here. He could be up there too, but more likely here. You got a 10-foot hole right there.
Right under the bridge. You can drive in here and you're there.
You can absolutely launch it here and be in there. We have to check it now. Woo! Oh, I don't want to go there. Today we are bringing you to Willimantic, Connecticut, where we are returning to the case of Robert Cavanagh. You may have seen this case already, and if you have not, we do have a link in the description down below. But Robert, he went missing near Christmas time of 2004. He left a note behind where he had actually attempted to leave this world on his own one other time before, and on the second attempt, evidently he has succeeded, and he has eluded the family as to where he has been all these years. We are entering some dangerous waters today with rapids behind us. We started off our morning that we're going to take you back to right now, where we ended up putting in right near a high water dam that had our hearts racing. This is one episode you are not going to want to miss.
For families who have all but given up on finding their loved ones, this team is a last hope. Civilian divers cracking cold cases for free.
So we're going to start off our morning by bringing you into the story of Robert Cavanagh. And last time we were in town searching, had a Down Under Dan was with me, and we met Canute, who is married into the family. So you're the son-in-law of Patty, who is the sister of Robert. Is that correct? And yes, last time we were here, we really focused on the search up towards where Mom's house was at and where his ex-wife's house is at.
Yeah, in a lot just north of his house too, there.
Right.
Mansfield Hollow.
And so normally when we step into these, we're stepping into a 5-mile radius of, where did he work, where did he, live, where did he go to school type of deal, but he didn't go to school, so we have the work. And if you kind of want to bring us into the story from the family's own words, we have a side note that was left behind. He attempted twice, kind of just bring the viewers and everybody into the story of Robert.
Yeah, we knew about it one time before, I do at least. I only know, I guess, what the case, the court case pretty much says. Family-wise, I don't ask too many questions. I just want to find him for him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I guess as I know it from my wife, he was the happy-go-lucky uncle that loved everybody and made holidays like super fun for everybody. So that always killed me.
Right.
I always thought of myself as the fun guy.
And Bill, why don't you bring us into the letter? So Bill has been, if you haven't met Bill yet, he has been on a couple of previous searches with me. He himself has participated in 8 recoveries to date.
So the divorce and the finalization of his estate occurred, and in that piece of writing, there is actually the note was actually documented in it, and it talks about the fact that it was the second time that he had attempted it, and that in the note it says, I want to be, my funeral to be at St. Joseph's, and I want to be buried next to my dad. And so St. Joseph's Church, to our, in front of us here, is where we believe he would have gone or wanted to be, and the reason why he's 3 minutes away at his apartment complex. He did go to St. Joseph's in Vernon, all growing up with the kids and the wife back in the day, but the fact that he's here down the street 3 minutes away, and that he was going to this church now, the same St. Joseph's kind of congregation, it tells us that he's somewhere close to here. If he came here and made the decision that he was going to, in essence, repent of sins or whatever, go in and talk to the pastor and then go and do this, I would think he'd be closer.
I guess, as a father side to him, Sarah said he was awesome with his kids and everything like that. I never got to meet his kids or his ex-wife or anything. But he was an awesome dad, so he cared. The reason he stuck around as long as he did, I think, was for that reason, right?
Yeah.
And then whatever that last step would be.
Exactly. So we're looking at St. Joseph's Church being here on the map, and the Willimantic River and the search area directly below it, between the two dams. So it's kind of a dangerous spot. We're going to be in a little bit of whitewater, especially after the rains last night. But this location here seems to be the location of prime, because it's within, you know, a couple hundred yards of St. Joseph's Church.
When you go down to, we take a left instead, there's actually like a baseball field and park over that way.
Okay.
The river kind of zigzags. It gets shallow in between the turns, but I'm sure from all those big washes out, those turns are deep. And there's a new fence there. It would be one hell of a launch off, but you'd be able to clear all the trees right off the side. It's clear almost all the way down. It's probably a good 35, 40 foot drop though.
Okay.
But it looks deep enough. There's no, you don't see any ripples on top of the water.
And so I don't have to do a 30, 40 foot drop with the boat into the water. Do we have
There's got to be a different way.
Good,
I
easy?
tried to go into the park that day, but it was packed. There were so many cars for kids sports and stuff that day. But
Well, let's drive over to this launch spot and then see what we can do to identify where we can get a car in from there.
And we'll follow you.
So Canute sent us some drone footage from this before. The water was down a little bit more, and so closer to the bank it was kind of shallow, but there's this kind of like this launch spot. None of this debris right here used to actually be here before. And then I think there was another spot down here that was able to launch off of. So in your drone video that you sent me, had like 2 concrete launch pads. Is that where all the debris is at right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, up there makes perfect sense. Down here doesn't. You don't have any excess. It appears to be shallow there. I mean, you could have like a hole deep enough, but you know, like you said, that's a new fence that's there. So I mean, you could absolutely be dealing with an accident scenario there, but you know, he's left a note that says that he's going to do this intentionally. So at this location right here, as I'm panning at this one, and you have this newer fence here, you have a little bit of a distance from there to the water. So if we were looking for a gentleman that was simply has substance abuse, he's drinking, he could be going back to the, you know, to go get something else to drink or heading up to mom's house, then we would be interested in this location right here as a potential hole. So because of that, I think that's going to be where we actually want to look for today's search to get started. Now, our goal is to find an actual access point to get down into the water there. So let's make our way back over there and see what we can do.
See, yeah, all this wasn't here according.
Oh yeah, there's right here. Yeah, there's that concrete launch pad I was talking about, where this debris
Yeah,
wasn't
like
here
this
before.
whole pile. I don't remember seeing it on the original pictures.
Yeah, it wasn't on the footage that Canute sent us before, right? This is all clear.
And it drops off right here.
Right.
It goes into nothing.
Okay, yeah, we can get a boat in there. Let me pull the RV forward.
We're looking at this area specifically because St. Joseph's Church is right up there, and this location is straight down the hill from St. Joseph's Church directly into the water, and he could have launched anywhere along this or along that launching pad over there, at the same time hidden in plain day behind this building, because this building was vacant at the time. So we're looking at areas. This park was rebuilt in 2010. So this was, again, like a dirty section, but if you look, some of the stones are missing here on the edge, which could be indicative of something launching, you know, and this is a pretty spot too. And so he knows this exists. I'm sure that he used to come down here and have coffee or, you know, sit down and fish right here and take a deep breath. And the fact is that it's so close to the church that it's very plausible that he would come in here. The weather's 30 degrees to 35 at the average, according to the weather reports of that time. And so we're looking at a scenario where he has to be in a river. If the ponds are frozen, you know, with 30 to 35 degree weather patterns, you're really looking at a scenario where you have to have a moving body of water. And this is a moving body of water. And it's also right down the street from his house. His house, or his apartment, is a total of 3 minutes away. It's 3 minutes from St. Joseph's, 3 minutes to here, total. So, I mean, the fact that that exists and it brings our circle of our search directly down to the bottom of a hill, directly down the street from his house. You know, it's very clear that, very plausible that he could be right here. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get in the water here. We're gonna make it happen. So see if we can find the guy that can't be found. Well, the dam is pretty torrential. I mean, from the standpoint of it, water's just ripping over the top of it, and it's probably 18 feet to 20 feet tall. So we go over the top of this. It's probably one of the most dangerous things we've done in a while. I'll tell you that right now. Like, if the engine goes out at any point in time, we got to get ripping and paddle, get over to the left over here to get out of the way of any possibility of going over the dam. So,
all right, here we go. So let's, what I want to do is just do a straight shot out from this first. Let's see where our depth is. Oh yeah, plenty deep, 7. Look. All right, what is that? That's not big enough, I don't think. No, could be. We'll come back and double check that. Oh, plenty deep out here, isn't it?
yeah, so 12 feet of water.
Yep, 14, 15 feet of water.
14.9, 15.5.
All right, so let's run it like we'd normally run it then, straight up the bank. So how about if I come down, I'll do this circle first, that way we get this part out of the way, and then shoot up that direction towards the other dam here. Our big trick in all this, Bill, is to not go over the edge there.
No. And it's rushing, so.
Nice smooth bottom.
11 feet of water.
So we have a target over there on the left, but that's too big. Yeah, so this is that. I don't know what that was I don't know what this is right here.
It looks like a
Seat or something.
a seat of a car. Or a couch,
Yeah,
no, a
a
couch. 3'2". Something off to on my right, which is your left.
Yeah.
And that nook over there in the shadow.
And so your big interest then is going to be up here where the new park is at then.
Yeah, where the Heritage.
Coming up towards this bridge here.
Yeah, where the Heritage Park is, there's a section that actually is deep, and it's right off where there's missing concrete too. And this section here as well, where that block is missing.
Yeah, because that's all newer fence there.
Yeah.
So only 4 feet of water here though. Yeah, too shallow here, but we'll have to check out further out here. I'm going to be a lot more interested in this hole that we were at back down over there. Although all of this is really pretty. I mean, you got that waterfall right in front of us and a bridge, and it's definitely a nice setting to be in.
I'd stay out of the rapids. Only 5 feet of water.
There's something there. No, it just comes up. Just the ground. But yeah, I mean, you could come off right here and still float into this section right here.
Oh yeah, especially, no idea what the water levels were in 2004 during the, December 21st to the 25th. Mm-hmm. A big boulder there.
So I'm interested in coming back over this right here. Just to double check that. Because we're also going downstream. So when you scan, you want to be scanning upstream most of the time. You're going to have a lot more control. When you're going down, you're kind of like drifting a little bit. And just for some reason, sonars will give a much better reading when you're heading back upstream. So we're going to double check that for sure. In fact, let me head up there and double check it right now. And this is not a smooth bottom. Normally when we refer to smooth bottoms, it's like just sandy, flat, and if there's any type of an object, it's like, oh, there's our object, there's our target. Whereas here you have a lot of rocks and a lot of debris, especially coming off of the buildings being pushed in over time. These big boulders that they've used to you know, build the roadways and whatnot, and the old train tracks. The rivers were not always just a clean place back in the day. It's kind of one of those out of sight, out of mind. All right, so right here, this represents on the right-hand side where 1836, 54, very smooth bottom there. That's the ideal scanning. But now we're back into the rocks and debris, so we want to head back over that one target up here and make sure we rule that one out. And then we have that other target that was over here closer to like the blue barrels and that side over here that we want to check out as well.
A big pile right there we just went over.
Yeah, let me double check that too. Yeah, it didn't pop up enough on my down though, but let's double check it.
Again, a lot of storms came through here, a lot of hurricanes.
Yeah.
We're very close to the ocean. So, you know, a lot of debris comes down the rivers in here.
Yeah, that was my target right there, but not sticking up enough. All right, so I have nothing there. So let's go focus on that one and only target that I had over here. And then we'll do a few runs straight out from shore as well. So see that right there?
Yeah, I see that.
I'm interested in that.
Yeah,
That
I
could
see
be a
that.
potential truck upside down.
Yep.
Very interested in that.
Right there.
So we'll head back over there and see what we can do to get for
There's another
some,
block right there, the square.
yeah, some height on it. Like you said, you know, 2004 and a lot of storms that come down, we're going to have a lot of silt and sediment in here that could have this thing either completely buried or almost buried. I mean, it could be in here and buried.
I mean, when it goes from 12 feet to 2 feet, you know that a ton of debris is coming this way.
Yeah. All right, so right here is what we're interested in. Should be right about here. So we're still off to our right just a little bit, but the more we get over it, the less likely it's looking. But we're gonna turn and do another run now. Right location. I mean, if you look at where the ramp is at over here, it should be right about here, where that anomaly was at. And really just the way the ground is laying now. Still off to the left just a little bit right there, but it's getting less and less likely the more we go over it. Right, there's what it was. Yeah, looks like more just like sticks and debris. Come back over it here. Right there's all I have of it. So that's like a tree log with sticks. Let's completely rule it out. I'm not getting enough height on it. 2004. So you're not going to have a completely destroyed vehicle in here. You can see that's tree logs, sticks. Do you see it?
Yep.
Right there.
You can see the ends on it.
Yeah.
Like it's a big tree stump with the roots.
So that was my anomaly that I was interested in. So let me do a few more. Let me check this corner for you. I can see some trees sticking out of it, but we'll just double check it. Yeah, it's only 1 foot back in here. Less than a foot now. You can see the bottom.
Yep.
All right, so let's do some runs just straight out from that ramp over there. and see if we pick up anything else on a different angle scan. That was that very first target of the morning.
Yep.
We said we had to go back over.
Another big one right there. I'm looking at that rock pile a little closer.
Yeah, right here. I want to double check all of that right there. So let's go back over that right now. So maybe we get really shallow on it. Yeah, just all rocks there. Debris makes it a little bit more difficult.
Connecticut, you know, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, a lot of big boulders, you know, it's a lot of granite.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all these buildings are built out of it. You know, all these walls that you see, I mean, they're all back from the 1600s, 1800s.
They're pretty.
This was 1890, I believe, this whole factory.
All right, at this point in time, I'm going to say that this is clear of any vehicle. We'll do 2 more passes over here. All right, so see at the 54 mark on the sonar, we're picking up the edge of the dam, and then you see that right there. Look at that. You might be right. Are you comfortable with me going another 25 feet?
Yeah. Whatever you need to do.
Did you put gas in the motor?
I did not do anything. I watched you do it.
God, that's some moving water too. Like, okay, so we should be coming up to the target right about here. And that's not big enough there. Oh, no. No, that's not big enough. Woo. All right, I'm confident on that. You?
Okay. We're good as long as you are.
I'll put my live scope on that side now. Like you're dangerously close to this. That's a lot of force going over there. So see, this right here was our object that we were interested in. And I'm ruling it as a rock. I would love to. But I feel like I still got to get a little closer to it. I mean, I honestly don't know what it is.
Fucker, it's going right over the edge there. Look at it go over the edge.
Yeah.
Holy God.
All right, see, like we're clear there. It's not a vehicle.
It's like a wet and wild ride.
Yeah. All right, not a vehicle. All right, I would like it if we didn't get close to a dam like that ever again.
Really?
Like, we had Bill nervous. I was nervous.
I wasn't nervous. It got a little.
He was sweating like little beads.
It's like a wet and wild ride. It disappears, so it's like you can see the dimension of the water. Like you're literally like on the edge of the slide where it's just going over. It's Gordon Ave, Willimantic, and then Jackson Street, Willimantic.
That's not big enough. The river's really shallow there.
I think a lot of that's going to be super shallow in the summer. You'd think somebody would see it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some fishermen.
And then what about under the highway?
No, there's no accident. Oh, under right there? That goes
Under the highway. Under Route 6.
Where is that in relation to the church, his house, wife's house?
It's right up the street from his house.
Yeah.
So like if you take a left out of his house. So I want to do the pond out in front just to where he
Yeah,
right in
right
front,
there.
right there. I don't know if it's a foot deep.
Yeah, I couldn't
I have
tell you.
no idea. We're gonna at least sonar ball that.
Okay, let's go there next.
Let's go to Foster Road.
That's by his house.
Yeah.
So let's do this one.
What's that address? I can probably street.
111 Gordon Ave. Again, it's all close to here.
Right.
And it's in between the church and here, on home. In essence, if he went to the church and then decided to come back towards home,
Where's this one at?
that's it. That's where he worked.
Yeah, Gordon Ave. It's the last street view spot, but that would be the river right out front on the right.
Yeah. So that's the ponds at his office, where this is all demoed now. I went to both of them.
Right.
So that was really shallow, right?
It seemed to be shallow. You can see fish through the whole thing. There's two of them. There's one right here and one right here.
Okay.
That's the entrance to his old.
That's his
Oh,
entrance.
but this is on the correction facility, though.
Yes.
At the time that he went missing, was this a public road?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I'm interested in, let's just 100% buy his apartment.
Yep.
Sonar that one. Which one's then closer, this one or this one?
111 is close.
So then let's go to 111 and then let's go to his work.
Okay.
Right here? So what this is this is close to his apartment complex. So we just want to double check this, but however, you see a fountain is right in the middle of that. In the way that this bank is just very gradual, we'll walk closer to it. I don't feel as though it's going to be deep at all to hide a vehicle, but just in that instance, we want to make sure that we do clear everything. So, because now we kind of have this new 5-mile radius that we're working versus the 5-mile radius that we had last time. Last time it was kind of up by mom's house, wife's house, as well as where he worked. Now we're focused kind of on the church and as well as his residence. So we're working a little bit different today. Yeah, about what we thought that it would be out there. And I said, you know, most of the time these are just like the little decorative ponds, and especially when they put the fountains in the middle there, it makes it really easy for them to drain and work on. Yeah, same thing, 2 feet. All right, well, let's head over to that 111 road and go check that location. Yeah, I mean, you look at this, you got these trees that are old. You're not splitting you're threading the needle there and getting in the water. You have this tree that used to be standing here, and that tree, you shallow all the way out there. So no to this spot.
Mm. 14 feet.
No, you're 4 feet.
Yeah.
That far out.
4.6.
4.3, 3.6 now. Okay, so let's bring this back into what we're interested in. So we are interested in this potential off of Columbia right here.
Yep.
So let's zoom into that area. So on our Google, it's actually showing like a bike path that comes down here or something.
Yep.
So let's go back in time.
It looks new too.
To 2005. So we got 2002, let's go 2005. 7 months after he goes missing. So it looks like that's just a little trail. So that's not a driving path for a B2000 to drive into at that moment in time. So I'm not interested in that one now. So even the walking path is not really a walking path back then.
Okay.
So since then they've made it one. So
let's walk down the river from there, because that's the furthest north. It seems that you can actually gain access if you look out that way.
okay. So let's turn this back to north, south, east, west.
Right there is where we were, right?
This is not where we were at. This is a different place.
Yeah.
So I would be interested in this spot here.
Yeah.
That's off of Bridge Road. And it looks like you have a deeper spot here, but you have a straight launch into the water there in 2006. So I would say let's head over there off a bridge for sure.
So I was looking at this ball field area, because you can come into the ball field and shoot in this side.
I would be interested in that.
Because it's hidden behind everything.
Yep.
And you might have access. Let's look at 2000.
Over here,
You got
too.
2006?
That's 2006.
Let's look
So
at
you want
20
us today? No, look, you're shallow.
I think there's a fence around it now.
Yeah, you see a fence?
Yeah.
plus you're shallow.
Let's go in deeper and zoom in on it.
Yeah, I think you're just way too shallow there.
You never know in that corner. See, any bend is an eddy.
Let's go over there and we can throw the sonar.
Okay, we'll go back to 2006 on that one right now where you are.
Okay. 2006, okay.
It's deeper in there.
Well then.
Yeah, but even with the eddy, like when you have that bend on the turn, it carves out into the granite, that corner.
Oh, well, let me see if I can just find like a dry ear. Right, so let's go throw a ball over there.
Okay.
And so anyway, so you have two potential locations on that one, right here and right there. We want to check both of those.
Yeah. But where the biggest thing is we have to make sure that where there's a location for access is the key.
All right. Yeah. Maybe right here. You have an auto works. You have a showroom.
Yeah.
So right by 66, we'll want to check that one.
Okay, so we got Main Street, and we've got, what's the name of the road? It's called Natchog.
Yeah.
It's the Natchog River, so we'll go to Natchog Road.
And this
Main Street.
This is the one that we just checked.
Yeah.
So let's go to that one right now.
Next door, yeah.
And then we'll work our way towards town.
Okay.
All right, you are connected. Five feet. Yeah, cast up towards that tree and then let it just float. The other thing we have to think about, we are here more at a higher time for this water.
Yeah.
Than normal. So that's 6 right there, less than 5 now. 4. 4 still. 3. Yeah, that's not deep enough out there.
What about over here?
Well, just let it keep floating there.
I am.
Yeah, just let your line out. 4. 5. No. Oh, you got a 6-7 foot pocket there. It's going to 8. You're at 8. I'm gonna lose signal in a moment. You're at 9. Let it keep going. You got a 10-foot hole right there.
Right under the bridge. You drive in here and you're there.
You can absolutely launch it here and be in there. We have to check it now. Only 3 there. So even though you were reading 5 here, I've got these 18 to 24 inches below the boat, so that's why we'll have a little bit of difference in the reading there. Nice smooth though for the bottom on this. Turn around with your camera. There's a bicycle sitting on top of the bridge up there. So if you're missing an aluminum looking bicycle, we found it.
Big flat something. It's a large object right there.
Yeah, it's a rock.
It's a big stone in the bottom.
Yeah, I saw it on live and on site here.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, I know, I see that.
And look where we're at.
I know.
We're right by your 2 trees
Yeah.
that I was harassing you about. Yeah, just a stone with a small tire next to it. You don't have a truck. You have a tree though.
You haven't gone by it all yet.
Wait, what is that? All right, let me go over the top of that. Okay.
That's the parking lot right there.
Okay. I'll buy this one. 11 feet deep, 12 feet deep. I need to start listening to you more often. I apologize.
And this reminded me of Winooski.
It's true.
I saw the spin in the river.
Yeah.
Right there.
So look right there on the right. I don't think it's a truck though. No, it's not a truck.
Tire.
You see the tree there, but look at right next to the tree.
I know, I see it.
Look right there. We need to double check that right there.
Yeah.
So that is off to my left. We have an eddy here, so it's kind of blowing me around. Yeah, we need to get this thing on live. Yeah, it's not a vehicle. What we're looking at is we have no vehicle shape, and you can see the shadows coming through it. And shadows coming through it, but it's not a solid object like a vehicle.
Right there.
Yeah, that's a tree.
Okay. You want to go up a little bit?
See it right there on down in between
Yep.
two? Right there.
Yeah.
So I'm sold on this one, but I'm not yet sold on this one here. I just want to double check that and the way it's sitting right at the edge of that. Can you see that? So this one I'm sold on, but this one here, I'm not yet sold on, just the way it slopes down into there. But I don't have any wheels. I don't have any definition of a cab. So for the most part, I'm sold on it.
And it's just a little hump of a cab, so it's that the B2000 is tiny.
That one I'm convinced now. Okay, I'm happy.
Okay, let's go do our bridge that we actually came here for.
Yep.
This is the 10-foot hole right here.
Yeah. And it's gonna pop back up right there. So let's check both sides of this. And then it gets too shallow here, so you're only 2 feet here. All right, we're gonna turn. That's crazy how this side's only 2 to 3 feet versus 8 to 9 on the other side. Oh, there's a 7-foot hole.
Something there.
Yeah, it's
rock.
Rock, yeah. Yeah, let's swing back through that other side though. This side I know is 100% clear. This one I wasn't quite convinced because we were also traveling downstream, so I want to drop back down below it and then pop back upstream with it. There was something over here on this side. Tree, concrete, not big enough. All right.
Bob spent a lot of time kayaking from behind his old house and along Eagleville Lake and also Mansfield Hollow. This is where I was telling you Bob spent a lot of time kayaking. The National Recreational Trail, the water trail, is brought to you by the following partners. In Mansfield, on Eagleville Lake where you've been, but this is where he spent a lot of time kayaking with his sister off of Stafford Road.
But I've been in there. Have I been in that one?
According, you said it was too shallow. Okay. But maybe there's a spot that we don't know about.
Bring up on satellite so I know what I'm looking at on satellite on that one.
So
I'm going to look at our next location here on the river.
Okay.
That we're going to. Shallow over there. You might have a hole over here though. But I don't know what your access is over here. I mean, let's double.
We'll go back there on the way there, like on the way to Coventry Lake, or after Coventry Lake.
Is that a boat ramp over there? Oops. We're going over by the water treatment plant first here.
Okay.
We have two potentials here in the
right.
water.
In the baseball fields.
And then Bridge Street right after that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities with this one, Bill. I want to look on my map from 2004. I want to see how much fence I can see in 04. Because if you look at this right here, you can see what the old fence looked like here, but were there breaks and gaps in it also in 04? And coming in here, let's see what we can figure out. We're over here at the ball fields. We want to be at 2005 or 6. If 5 will work even better. So I mean, looking at this one, this is 2013. It looks like there's not a fence there, other than that old fence that we saw over there, but how much of it was still existing over here? But yeah, we definitely need to put in there, and then we're also interested in this hole right over here. So we want to walk over here past the playground and check that one out as well. And you can see the fence here. So see how we have a fence very defined there around the water treatment plant, but not very defined here. Looks like there's a little one here. Yeah, I'm gonna lose connection. All right, we're in. I'm gonna say it's 18 feet there. Yeah, you're 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet. Yeah, I mean, you have a hole here. And so I'm coming back to like the Bill Simmons case where he launched over 100, 150, 50 to 150 feet into a river. And you could absolutely do the same thing off of this road, off the bank.
But you can come in from anywhere here.
Yeah. Well, I know it's deep enough. We just got to put in now. Another 10 feet or so, we should start hitting some deeper water. See where like this last little set of ripples is at? That's where it starts getting shallow. And we're gonna come into this little back eddy over here. Clean as clean can be so far though. Just down 11 feet, 12 feet. Give me a car out here. All right, we got something there, and I think it's just rocks. Yeah, 14.7. So a little something here we want to focus in on right there. Not sold on it being a vehicle or anything, but I feel like it's more of a rock that's down there. But remember, this has been in here since 2004. So that's what, 16, 17 years? Yeah, it's just the way the bank came up there. So nothing big there. All right, I'm gonna do one more pass in here. I'm gonna be satisfied with. Yeah, we'll head down to the other side to see what we can find. Even though the fence was up, I just want to double check that bend down there as well. We scanned some of it coming up. In the water treatment plant here, you can see that there's no way that you're coming in here. And with the depth here being only 4 feet, it's very safe to say that we don't have a vehicle down here. But we'll scan just a little bit of this. The water kind of settles a little bit. So we'll kind of head down just next to the little island here, just to rule it out, and then we'll move on up from there. All right, I'm satisfied with that. So now we'll head up to our last location on the Willimantic. Batman is not coming to help us out at this moment in time, but we have to start looking at any potential evidence as we come around to our last location here on the Willimantic River. You start looking at like the old fence that's here and just how rusted out it is, but then you have anywhere that it might have been repaired over time. We've seen people go through fences before, we've seen people go through guardrails, and so you do have a newer section here, but you don't have, you know, like these posts have not been bent over and replaced here. So I mean, you could absolutely have a deeper body of water. So then you have to go back in time also and look at was there a fence here? Do you have any other potential access and entry points? And so just down on the other side here, we identified coming into this that there's also another Willimantic kayaking area, and it's like an old river park. So we're gonna head over there right now, identify possibly putting the boat in there, and then just double checking this section up in the river right here. We wanna, like I said, I think this is our last section here, and then we'll head up to the Cummington Reservoir at the boat ramp between his house and Mom's house. Yeah, so he could be in this stretch here. He could be in here. He could be up there too, but more likely here. Yeah, any one of these spots right here. Coming down. Oh, that's a great spot right there too. You don't even have a fence there. It's been replaced. I think you're getting too shallow here though. I don't think you have any depth right there.
I don't think you have depth in all of it. You can see the rocks right there on the bottom.
Yeah.
I can see the big rocks right there sticking out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you went in and then floated, maybe you could float into that eddy right there.
No, I mean, your eddy's all the way down there.
And you can't get through here.
No.
So you'd only be right like in there and then roll over and then into the hole right here underneath all the shit.
All right, so I'd rule this one out then.
Unless you went down the railroad tracks and maybe into that corner.
You're not going down the railroad tracks. You're picking something easy to go in.
I know.
So I'm gonna say let's go to the boat ramp.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that one's too far for him. I mean, he could. Yeah, I mean, that's possible. Okay, I'm not ruling this one out. Yeah. You can launch off of here.
Thank God.
It's only 5. You did not want to come in here, did you? No, 6. Yeah. Yeah, cast it up underneath the bridge and let it come down. You're 6, 5, 6, 5, 5, 5. Yeah, we don't need to do this one. Because then this water would only be 2.5 to 3.5 in the dry air times. Okay, let's go to the lake. So far, I like this location. Oh, you know what? We did come here. This is the very first place that I met his family when we first came to town. I remember now. Yeah, 100% I came here. So then that's going to take us over to your Eagle. Is going to be our next location. So the sand and gravel is the only thing that we've not done on this body of water. We're right here. In fact, let's get out and take a look at it. That last time we were here, we put our boat in the water right here and we scanned all of it right here. So then we come back to the only other location that we've not been able to scan because there's no reason to would be the sand and gravel. Owner locks the gate. Robert doesn't have access to the gate. And so then just breaking down the area, like where is it that we go from here? And I think that's where we just have to turn to all of you now at this point in time again, as we've done on previous cases, to where sometimes we come back and we solve them because of any tips that you might have.
What was the name of the correctional institution that Robert worked at? And do you have an address? Found it, I think. Yeah, I found it.
Okay.
A Middle Turnpike, 8 minutes away.
That's not bad.
2.9 miles. $3.1.
4.6.
4.6.
5. Yeah, come over by the dam area. If I was him, and this is my shot, I'm coming off the dam. But I just don't see this as his final choice here. 3.8. Right there. 4.4. Yeah, he's not in here. Well, that brings us to our last logical location of today on this search, looking for Robert. We simply don't know where he's at, and that's where we turn to you. If you happen to be a fisherman anywhere within the Mansfield, Coventry, Willimantic River area, put the word out to local fishermen for them to start looking in these bodies of water if they have sonar. Turn them on at boat ramps. And really, we have no idea where he's at until he's found.
No, you know, we've searched everything from Sleepy Hollow Dam to Willimantic River, up the Natchog River, Coventry Lake, as well as Eagleville Lake.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're at a point now where we have to look to the viewers to gain the help that we need to move the case forward.
Yeah, you know, and one of the things is, you know, some of the viewers have been kind of mean to us at times, and they say, you know, why do you put these videos out if you've not solved the case? We only want to see solved videos. That's not what the point of this is. The point is to bring awareness to the world, because we are only a small, you know, team that helps to spread awareness of what others like you can do to help spread awareness, you know, for others to get out there in search of missing people like Robert and others that we have found. So we are going to continue to put these videos out, whether we solve them or not. Of course, we want to solve every single one of them, help these families free of charge. But regardless of that, the one thing that really helps us out to get out here, and you know, this is funds coming out of our pocket, and you can help us for free by simply subscribing and sharing these videos with your friends and family. That's all we ask of you. We appreciate you being here, and we hope that tomorrow we're heading up to Audrey Heron up in Catskill. It's a case that we have worked before, and fingers crossed we're going to be able to solve that one in the next day or two. Other than that, we appreciate you being here with us, and we will see you on the next case. Bye-bye.